Idea how your money can serve the community very, very well. The person that I asked to really speak to you is one of the founding fathers of the Field of Dreams, which is well, I'll let him tell you what it is, but it's for children with special needs of all sides. You mentioned autistic. We have blind children, we have autistic children, we got all types of children with special needs that you'll see and hear about here today. And so we'd like to tell you our story, tell you where it started. This gentleman is one of three folks, and he likes to say he didn't have a dog in this hunt, meaning he didn't have a child with special needs. He's doing this out of his heart. And so, no further ado, Mr. George Van Kool.
Before I start, I'm going to give you a piece of advice, and that is don't lose your napkin. You'll see why in a couple of minutes. I'm going to take you through a little bit of our story. We're going to tell you where we've been. This is our 9th season, and about 3 minutes ago, I just found out that we now have 180 athletes that have signed up to play Field of Dreams. You'll hear stories, you'll hear things like, it cost me $82.50 to put a child on the field, and we charge nothing. Zero, zip. Even our concessions are free. How do you do that? You'll see that in a minute. So Ron, let's get started. You know, a lot of us around in this room and in our clubs, we all are in business, right? One way or the other. I've worked for Florida Blue for 26 years. I'm a very blessed individual. But we have a mission and a purpose, and it states very clearly that our mission, our league, our baseball league, is to provide a sustainable, right? Not one-time shot, not in and out. It's a sustainable voluntary organization that provides a safe ADA, American with Disabilities Act, certified facility where children with special needs, all kinds, that can play baseball free and be an active part of a thriving athletic association. You'll get some parent feedback in the video in a minute, and you'll see what that means to them. When you and I go to the ballpark, right, it's pretty simple. Watch a game, right? Little league game going on, just pretty good, you know, kids are running, shouting, having a great time. When you come out to my park, I'm going to tell you right now that most people are crying because they can't believe what they're seeing. We have blind children. We had 8 last year. Out of 161 players, we had 8 blind children. You want to see a blind child in baseball? Yeah, they do. You'd be amazed how it happens. We have kids that are literally strapped to wheelchairs. Literally. All I can do is one of these. I have a story to tell at the end about this child that I had an interaction with. We have autism. We have all kinds of challenged special needs, children with special needs. And our purpose is very basic. It's enable children with special needs the opportunity to play baseball in an organized league, to wear a uniform, to have their names announced. We actually have play-by-play. You know, the singing of the national anthem before each game and be a member or a player on an athletic team. So how do we actualize our mission, Ron? We do it a couple of ways. We have 2 operating principles. Number 1, all things are free at Field of Dreams. Let me ask you a question. When you go to my ballpark and you smell the hot dog grilling, right? It smells pretty good. I think I need a drink. I go to the concession stand and you go over there and say, give me a hot dog, a bag of chips, and give me water. And your next question is, so how much do I owe you? We turn to you and say, all things are free, Field of Dreams. What's your next move?
Donate.
You give me a donation. You're spending $20 for a hot dog. I'm going to tell you that right now. That's what happens. We take in anywhere from $800 to $2,000 a weekend in pure donations. These are people that take money out of their pocket and say, what I'm seeing between those white lines, I got to help you somehow. I always tell people the same thing. Don't give me your money yet. I want you to come out to the park and see what you're donating to. Because there is a real live league out here. We have 180 children. We have 11 teams this year. Pretty exciting. The other thing is special things happen between white lines. That is a very special construct. I play sports. I played college football all my life. And I can tell you, special things do happen between white lines. Most, for my case, it's a broken leg, you know, hit, nose, everything. But special things do happen between the white lines, and we see it every batter, every play, every game, every weekend. from February 2nd through May 4th. We align with like-minded organizations, right? We establish and maintain local business and community relationships, outreach, engagement, right? Awareness, understanding, acceptance, action. We maintain financial stability through 2 ways. Operation, what we call capital grants, and you can see the list there. We'll send out this, by the way, electronically. Those are capital grants vis-a-vis the Quad City grant for $33,000. Sorry, $32,000. I upgraded them. I gave them interest on the payment. And of course, operational funding. You know, we have sponsorships. I can tell the story about the owners of Firehouse Subs. They came after the 2nd year. They said, "I'm gonna sponsor your league. I'll pay for the uniforms. You got 41 kids, no problem. I'll pay for the uniforms." 2nd year, 78. 3rd year, 113. He gets the bill. He comes to the field. He says, "George, I could donate $5,000, but I can't pay for $9,000 worth of uniform." "No problem. No problem. We're sorry. You got the invoice. That's our bad. Not going to happen again. Just stick around and see the game." He goes, "God is my witness." "Is that an artificial turf field?" "Yeah, well, actually, it's indoor outdoor carpeting." He goes, "What's with the wheelchairs?" And I go, "Roger, this is a special needs baseball league." He didn't even know for 3 years he was sponsoring that. He knew that he wanted to sponsor something. So he had his Firehouse logo here. Game 1, 9 o'clock, 10:15, 11:30, 12:45, 2 o'clock, 3:15, the games are over. I'm standing there, we're packing up the field. He's still standing there. He comes over to me and says, I said, "Have you been standing the whole game?" He goes, "Yeah. By the way, here's a $9,800 check for the uniform, because that's what I want to do going forward." That's because he saw what was happening, and he knew deep down in his heart that he made a commitment, he was going to adhere to it. And then, of course, we have other things. We talked about the donation jar. That's extremely important to us, believe me, because that helps pay for it. Right now, today, we are operationally funded for this year. We have no problem with costs. Next year, we start fundraising now for next year. Remember I said sustainable. Go to the next one. Okay, we started 8 years ago, 41 players, 4 teams. We charged $40 to play this year. 180 athletes as of 10 minutes ago. There's no cost to play, concessions are free, and we will never, ever, ever, as long as I'm walking on the face of the earth, turn a kid away for any reason. The only criteria we have is that you have to be enrolled in kindergarten or through high school. We can't, because of insurance and liability issues, we can't take college kids. But we can go right through. We got kids that are 21 years old, but they're still registered in high school. They graduate naturally with their class, it's called inclusion, but they stay around in the high school systems in order to actually become more functional. I didn't know that. That's a new one for me. We started early February and May. All games were at Aberdeen Park. You may know where Bartram Trail and Creekside are, right between the two. Halfway between the two of them. It's called Aberdeen Park. We have our own field. You'll see that in a minute. And we rely on collaborative partnerships with middle and local high schools and community-based organizations for our buddies. We don't run this league without buddies. We can't, because these kids can't pick up a ball. They can't throw a ball. They don't know first base from third base. Go to the next one. Okay, we're gonna play a real short video. This is where you're gonna have to keep your
attention span.
This video is 4 years old, to give you a perspective.
Each spring, more than 150 of Northeast Florida's special needs children take the field to play America's favorite pastime. This year, they need your help more than ever.
At Field of Dreams, we do not charge any registration fee for the kids to play. We provide concessions. The league doesn't run without buddies for the kids. And we've been very fortunate to have a great relationship with the local high schools.
Special things happen between white lines. We are a very blessed community. We're very blessed individuals. These children are blessed as well. But we want to give them the opportunity to play a sport, to be announced, to stand up to the national anthem, to have a uniform, to hear their name over the loudspeaker.
The very first game was kind of a surprise for all of us, and I think we all cried. Seeing the emotion, the joy, not only of the kids, but the parents. Some of the parents said that they never thought that their kid would have this experience. They've seen their siblings put on uniforms and go play, but they would never experience it themselves. So when it finally happened, the kids are in full uniform out here, you can't help but get choked up.
Every father dreams of watching his son or daughter taking the plate and swinging the ball and run the bases. Never really thought that was going to be possible. Field of Dreams is something special.
I have a son, he's 12, his name's Joey. You know, he'll put his uniform on the night before, or, you know, he'll have an afternoon game and he'll be up at 7 o'clock in the morning ready to go.
Well, Ty is very social, so I mean, he loves being here. Normally, he doesn't wear long pants at all. It's a texture issue with autistic kids sometimes, and it's the only time he really puts on long pants without giving us trouble.
Whenever we'd ask Brady if you want to do this or that, he'd communicate with us that, no, I don't want to do it. When we ask now, are you ready to play baseball? His face lights up. He says yes. I can't describe to you what that feels like to watch your child experience what other children get to do every weekend.
It's an experience they'll never forget. It's an experience you'll remember for the rest of your life. These buddies, to see their faces light up and the way they're so excited to be here, so excited to be playing the sport, putting the uniform on, you know, getting to hit, getting to catch, and just to get the relationship they build with their buddy.
The field is actually in disrepair. If you had been here a little earlier, you would have seen us gluing the bases down, taping down spaces where the field's pulling apart. The field actually started coming apart shortly after the league started. To replace the existing field and actually to put turf down on the full field is just slightly under $200,000.
We have handicapped children, children with challenge that have wheelchairs. And if you have 4 wheelchairs on a team, I can't put those wheelchairs on the outfield, okay? Because I just don't have the room, plus it's grass. So it's very difficult for those children with wheelchairs and walkers to actively participate in the sport because I'm very confined.
If we want to have this space for the kids to continue to play, we've got to upgrade this field. It's not going to last another season.
These kids play 8 games a year. It's a very special time for them. And I also tell other people that have never seen this before, come out. Watch the smiles on the faces. Watch the tears in their eyes. Just take a look at what happens between these white lines. Special things happen between the white lines.
Please help rebuild the field. Donate now at fodbaseball.com.
Did I touch you? If it isn't, you're not alive. I can tell you that right now. That was a video that was done for us professionally, obviously, at no cost to us. It's about a $20,000 video. So, but it was 2 volunteers that found our story, wanted to talk to us. What could we do for you? They came out and did what they did. So Ron, you want to take it over from me? That's our new field. That's our brand new field, okay? Now the county stepped up big time. That's $160,000 right there. We had to contribute about 30, so it was just under 200,000. But the county really stepped up. That fence used to be 220 feet. That's now been moved in halfway, so we will have out of the park home runs this year. Okay, but the kids do hit the ball.
Yeah.
Believe me, they do. You know, but wouldn't that be a thrill? You know, to actually hit a ball over the fence, which
Wow,
is really
yeah.
spectacular. But it is a spectacular field, and it's something that we're very, very, very proud of. So, Ryan, want to take it to the next step?
Nance, we gotta get Bucky out there. That'd be fun.
So you want to talk about, before we get into that, you want to talk about that?
Yeah. First of all, you saw me applaud. I have a similar story that my son signed up our grandson to play in the league. And I went out that first Saturday, and I met this gentleman who was calling balls and strikes on all the buddies. And I watched it for about 3 games. And the evening was over, afternoon was over, and I walked up to him and said, "How can I help?" and he signed me up as a board member, and I've been actively involved ever since and love every minute of it. And I don't know about you, but I've seen that video 15, 20 times, and I still tear up because it's just such a touching thing. My grandson is year 3, I think, and he's looking forward to hitting one over the fence this year. So, Field of Dreams. We're going to change the terms a little bit. We're going to say the Field of Dreams and beyond. Because what we are going to do is pictured here for you, is we are going to, we brought the fence in, as George just told you, and the right field, we're going to develop a playground for special needs kids that you see photographs on each side. Let me go over there because I want to make a couple points. The undertaking that I'm talking about, this field right here, we're looking at probably around $500,000 for us to pull this off. I'm pleased to tell you that we're about $160,000 into that as we stand here in the room. And guess what my job is with the Field of Dreams? Fundraising, you got it. So I'll be actively involved trying to do that. And thank you again for the quad group. $32,000 is going to go there. We were just talking to Sally. This centerpiece here cost about 120, is it?
Well, that's about 70,000.
70,000. So our plans are for the quad group is we're going to take your 32 and the Field of Dreams is going to match that. And this will be your contribution. The centerpiece will be the quad group, Rotary quad group presentation. You'll have a plaque and recognition and all the good things that go with that. So beyond the white lines, we want a certified park. And I will show you another example right here. This is pretty cool. We all have been on the teeter-totter before, right? If you have a wheelchair, you can put your wheelchair on either side of that. So two kids with wheelchair can go there, and they push a little button, and it automatically does the teeter-totting for them.
That's so cool.
So this is just really neat stuff. So that's our vision, and if I had to say, we're gonna try to get this funding and get it all worked out, and have the first piece, yours, that centerpiece, put in this year. So when you come out to visit us, you'll see it. And you'll actually have to come back because we're going to invite you to come before that centerpiece gets there. Last but not least is this one. You saw the video, but these are our kids. These are the kids that just warm your heart. They come out, they love it, they have a great time. My grandson can't tell you what the score was at the end of the game, but let me tell you, he'll give you the first and last name and ages of his 2 buddies. There's a bond that takes place there. It's unbelievable. By the way, he likes the girl buddies more than the boy kids. So anyhow, that's a warming part of this thing, and George is going to put some other comments and invite you out. But beyond the white lines is where we're headed, and we are sustaining on the baseball side. Now we're going to try to sustain and build this park for these kids as well. So, anything else you want me to add?
Yeah. Introduce me back. Anyway, this is a very aggressive program for us because, the baseball program is really taking off. Normally, like last year I mentioned the numbers, we had 161 athletes. You usually lose year over year. This is our 9th. You usually lose about 20% of your kids every year. Families move away, whatever happens. We actually lost a child to he died, and that was really sad for all of us. Had been with us from day one, and he played through 6 years, and then he passed away due to complications of his condition. So you kind of lose a little bit of your heart when that happens. But when the reason why this thing got launched is we're sitting there, and one parent said to me, "Boy, it would be so nice if we could have a playground out here." And ding, 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 ding. All of a sudden it goes out. We get with the county, we get with the vendors, and all of a sudden things can start happening. It really does. But you can go past that. We're going to give you this as a handout.
Electronically.
Yeah, electronically, of course. This is just some of our additional information. You know, we have the board of directors. Of course, we have a GoFundMe account. We have the website. Go to the next slide. I want to read something. Yeah. You know, before I read that, I'm going to tell you a story. Every game, every player, every inning, and I'm umpiring 90% of the games. And you're not really an umpire, you're a game facilitator. But there's two stories I want to tell you. One is about buddies and the inclusion. I do the Barton Trail High School announcing at football, basketball, boys and girls, and baseball. And inevitably, they'll ask me every single time, "Hey, Mr. Vancor, when are we starting Field of Dreams? Because, you know, I'm going to be a buddy this year because I'm coming out with the baseball team." You know, I'm getting this from 14, 15, 16, 17, 18-year-old kids, right? So you think, okay, that's part of their coaches help us. But the greatest experience was college students. Last year, I had 9 kids from Georgia, Florida, Tallahassee, UCF, University of Miami, University of South Florida, would call me up. "Mr. Vancor, I'm coming home for spring break. You running Field of Dreams this weekend?" "Yeah, come on out." Let me ask you a question. Who went to college? What did you guys do with spring break?
You don't have
I can tell you what I was doing. I'm 67 years old. I can tell you exactly what I was doing. But it wasn't volunteering my time to help a child with special needs. You know? Maybe because I didn't have the opportunity. These kids were called retarded when I was working, when I was growing up. That's what they were called. These are children. These are kids that go to our schools, that go to Publix, that go to our restaurant. What's wrong with having a baseball league just for them? Because they can't compete? Yeah, they can't compete. Come out and see it and watch it. When they hit a home run, lights go on. And you can see the eyes of the buddies, the eyes of the parents, the eyes of the coaches just light up. None of us get paid for what we do. I get a free hot dog every game, just so you know. I'm going to tell you, I'm going to end this with this story. I mentioned earlier that special things happen between white lines, but every inning, every player, every pitch, every catch, I learned something new. One game, this girl comes up and she's literally strapped to a wheelchair. The only thing she can maneuver is her right hand, and she has that little bar where she can move her wheelchair. She has 2 buddies. So she gets up to the plate. She's a right-handed batter. And what the buddies do, they get on either side. They put her hands on the bat and their hands on hers. And they swing. The coach pitches and they hit the ball. When they miss a ball, I'm 35 years a youth umpire, I yell out, "Strike 1 on the buddy!" So I do that. Everybody laughs, chuckles. But then I realized something happened. And the girl was shaking. So I thought, oh my God, my heart stopped. And I said, oh my God, I scared her. Because that's what I thought. So I come around behind home plate and I'm looking at her face. And I see the mother standing over there on the other side of the fence. And I look and I go, oh, whew. She's laughing. You can hear a pin drop. And the mother goes, no, she's not. And I say, like it happened yesterday. No, she's really laughing. She is. She goes, no, my daughter doesn't laugh. She was laughing.
Oh my gosh.
Game's over. They do the handshake. This woman comes up to me. She jumps in my arms. And she says, my daughter is 12 years old. Today was the first time I ever saw her laugh. God is my witness that happened like it happened yesterday. And that has so touched me. I don't have a dog in this fight. I know Ron does. He's got a grandson. But I can tell you this. When I walk away with so much more than I give. And that's what we need help with. We want to build this out. There's no question about it. I want to have those kids after the game or before the game go out here and play. Because they can't in the other facilities. We do have some spots around St. John's. They do have some in Nassau, Baker County, places like that, but nothing like this. This is almost a $500,000 effort. Not included here is the cost is really the ground stuff. The equipment is very expensive, but then there's a cover that goes over this whole thing because you don't want them in the sun too long. So on behalf of our entire Field of Dreams League, now 180 families, 180 athletes, our community, our buddies, and most importantly, our players, thank you for listening. And thank you for inviting us. And most importantly, for any help and support that you may choose to give as we strive to achieve our vision, both inside the white lines and outside the white lines. And I tell you this right now, we invite you to come out and watch a game or two. And I tell you this right now, special things do happen between my lines, and I'll buy the hot dog. How's that sound? Thank you so much for your attention and your time and for having me.
Any questions that we can answer?